Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi,
All right,
everyone.
Aaron. Oh, sorry.
You're gonna go? I'm gonna go. All right. Who's interviewing who? That's how we're gonna set this up. Eric's gonna interview me, and he's gonna ask you some of the questions that you guys have asked. And when we jump into the deeper how to play video, Eric will be kind of you guys asking about more things that people have messaged us and emailed us, and we're going to put that into the FAQ after. So before we jump in, I want to do a little bit of introductions with me and Eric, because we're going to also update our Kickstarter to show this. My name's Aaron. I have been an artist all my life, and I've been privileged enough to work at Rockstar for the past 14 years. I left them in last November to start this and another campaign. So I got the art down. I understand all things with art, and I've always been a designer at Rockstar. You do a lot of design as an artist also, believe it or not. And I just needed kind of a business partner to kind of guru me and help me through this. And that's where I kind of want to introduce you guys to Eric. Eric, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So I'm Eric Chan. My career has mostly been in technology and software, and I've done a few startups along the way. And one thing I got really passionate about working with Aaron is I actually like launching new products and new things. And so I've launched everything from, new software to even a new electric car when I worked at Mercedes. And so the opportunity to have something fun to launch, like this board game, was why I jumped in and am Aaron's business partner on this. All right, Aaron, I think lots of people have been waiting for this. So we're going to do a walkthrough of the game. And my job is just to, be that backer, be that person who wants to pledge and play the game and ask you questions.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's jump in. All right, we've loaded up Tabletop Simulator. This is how we test internally. We send it out to people that are far away for their feedback, and it's just kind of an in-house thing. I'm going to run through it. I'm going to show you exactly the demo stuff and go into deeper detail with each of the cards. Again, we start the game by laying down 8 weak terrain cards around the town. And you simply can choose to go left, right, up, or down. So we're going to do what we did in the how to play video, and we're simply going to turn over and go right. So let's zoom in here and talk about this forest card. So this is a weak terrain card. It has a little forest here. All the cards have those little icons. And let's talk about this guy, because this guy is really important. This is a roll command. This is a small table, and each icon represents something that you will have done to you. So let's say I move my character over. I'm going to grab 2 dice, the 2d6, and let's just go through each one of these. This icon, the skull, means that you are now being attacked by an enemy of that tier. This means you would grab a common loot. This means nothing happens. This means you can actually lay down a tunnel if a tunnel hasn't been laid down. This is an interesting icon, and we put it in here just to show that we have icons that affect co-op, but they necessarily won't affect solos. What that means is if you're solo and you roll this, you're only going to get like nothing happens because you're not going to lose a turn. But in co-op, you'd actually lose a turn. And then, of course, another enemy that would attack you. So let's just roll the dice and see what happens. All right, we got a 9, which means since we're solo, nothing happens. But let's just say that this is an attack, and let's just proceed with being attacked by the slime. All right, let's learn how to battle. Let's jump into the slime card and just do a quick look at them. The slime card carries the same table. So this table means that this is how the enemy attacks you. So 1, 5, and 6, and 8, and 7, they all are attack. So he's weak attacking you. This one means he runs from you, and this one means nothing happens. So again, On the enemy's turn, you would roll your dice and you would simply see what he does to you. So that's a 10. So he would do nothing to you. He would miss you. So let's talk about this now. This is the combo. This is the instructions on how to knock out this guy. And every combo has a reward attached to it. These rewards stack. So if you get a crit, you get all these rewards. But if you just get a weak, you just get the monster card.
All right, Aaron, who goes first when you're in a battle?
The player always has initiative unless it says something different up here. There is a first strike here that means the enemy got you. Ambusher, for example, is just a little bit stronger than most of our weak enemies.
What about co-op? How does the order of turns go for that?
So whoever actually initiates that combat has to fulfill the combat to the point where either their relic retires the heroes. You can't interrupt this combat. You can use relics to escape it, but once the monster rolls, you have to play it out.
Okay. Can you now explain how the relic and hero work together to battle, in this case, the slime?
Sure. Let's go through each one of these and we'll talk about it. So the most important thing about battling is your dice bonus. So we see that this guy has one, this guy has one, and then this guy has a colored dice. So let's go and grab those from up here. All right. So now let's talk about the color controller. The color controller is just using color to control what input you use. So for example, yellow would mean I would have the up or a B input. I can only use one because I only have one dice, so one input per dice. Now we have some of passive abilities, and we'll get into those later on. But for right now, let's just concentrate on taking this slime down.
Okay, so Aaron, how do I actually start the roll? Do I do one at a time, all three at a time?
So you simply just say, this slime is going down. I have first initiative, so all you do is have to roll your dice. Now, there are some little interesting things that we do with our dice in our combat system. First of all, any dice that has the same value, you can re-roll it. So for example, we have two ups because I have an up down here. But I could also choose this as a B to re-roll if this was a B. So you always have to be aware of what your color controller and what your dice are doing, because you might have doubles or triples or quadruples that you can re-roll. And this is kind of where our tactics come in. So for example, down doesn't really give us anything unless we're going for a hard. So we're just going to put this up here, but I can re-roll these two because this is up and this is up. So let's just see if I can get lucky and take this slime guy. So we have an A, we have a B, which is left or right, and we have a down. So this actually gave us down, right, A. So we actually got a hard knockout with this guy. So we'd get the loot card and the monster.
Does the monster just take one hit and they're done, or it takes multiple hits?
This monster just takes one hit. It is just as you see it. If you get the crit, you get the crit and all the rewards.
So, Aaron, what happens if you miss on hitting the monster? Then what happens?
So then it becomes the monster's turn. And you'd simply roll for the monster. And this is 11, so nothing would happen. If the monster does hit you with an attack, you simply take an attack, and a hero can absorb one of any level of attack but once. So this hero would now become wounded, and all you have to do is turn your card sideways to show that everybody, this guy is in trouble, he's wounded. Your relic is invincible. He'll never get taken out of the game, but your heroes will recycle.
Okay, now that I'm wounded and the monster's turn is over, then what happens?
So I simply go back to roll my dice. And now I'm going to try to get that monster. So again, I have two ups because this B does not help me. So I'm going to roll these two ups. And this is just me swinging left and right, trying to get that monster. He's backing up. He's worried. and I just have this initiation or this attack going on. So this is a right and B. So that technically gives me also 2 rights or 2 lefts. So if right is important to me, I could bank it, and now I can roll 2 lefts because B also counts as a left. So I have an up and a B. Again, I could unbank this, I could not use this, and I could keep rolling.
And Aaron, how many times do you get to re-roll?
As many times as you want. You have to think about that this is you have the enemy being pressed. The enemy's backing up. He's seeing you swing. He's dodging left and right, but you keep having these counter attacks. So until you run out of dice to roll, which can happen very fast, I'm just getting lucky. You just keep rolling until you run out of doubles, triples, quadruples. That's the tactic. We're not creating Dark Souls here. We're creating a JRPG, and it's meant to be fun. And we don't want anybody to have post-traumatic stress disorder because of this game. So again, I have a down, I have an A, and I have an up. So technically, I've beaten this guy because I can use this as A and this is up. So this guy has a weak attack. These happen automatically, but you can stack items, you can stack with other players to try to get that crit. Because if I wanted to recruit a hero, other heroes can come and help me to get a better hit. But if I'm alone, I'm just going to try to most likely get a weak. And if a harder crit happens, that's great.
All right, Aaron, now that I defeated the monster, what happens to the monster?
He goes into your hand. Monsters carry pretty much 3 values for this first core game. They can be a currency, which means you can gamble them in the casino or you can use them in the shop to buy other things. They also become life, which means you can exchange 1 hit from 1 tier. So if this guy attacked me, I could have blocked it with another weak enemy. Think of it tripping him, throwing him in the front, and he taking the hit. So that means that this guy then would go back into the deck to be recycled. And the last and most important thing is that I can also use it for level up.
All right, so now that the battle's over, what happens to the hero?
So all heroes untap after the battle. Think of it as kind of you're resting and you're just getting back. You're not dizzy anymore. So you would just do this, and that would be also heroes that would help you. So everybody untaps. This guy goes into your hand for deciding how you want to use them, and we can proceed with the next area.
Okay, great. So now that I have that monster in my hand, can you explain to me how the hero levels up?
Sure. This is the hero recipe. Each hero has a different recipe that they need to get. So right now we have 1 green slime. So that means I have 50% ready covered. I got the weak enemy. If you had 2 goblins, that still counts. All you need is 1 weak enemy. So all I need is a weak goblin, and I'll be at level 1.
All right, so I get. Let's say I battle another goblin. I defeat that one as well. What do I get, and how do I do that?
So at any time, because monsters have a different value than other games, they account for many things. You choose when you want to level up. Because if you just want to stack extra health, you can stack extra health. But let's say I see that this goblin can't run from me. So what I'm going to do is cash in a goblin and another monster, which means they go back to the bottom of the deck, and then I get a level 1.
Okay, great. So now that I have that level 1, I can look at the additional bonuses that the hero can buy me, right?
Yes, and you can also look at your burn.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about level burn with the relic.
So the relic special is that he can burn any of your levels that your heroes are attached to. So that means that you can burn any level at any time and in any order.
All right, Aaron. So now the battle's over. I've sorted out my relic and hero cards. What's next?
So the one thing that Tunnel Story does is that we have a gated progression system. So what that means is that you have to roll a tunnel icon, which connects a tunnel card to your current terrain to go further on. So I would roll a 4 which would be my tunnel icon. And then I would simply be able to put down my tunnel card anywhere around the terrain that's currently in play.
Okay, and then what happens when you're on the tunnel card? What do you have to do next?
So as soon as you spawn the tunnel card, you have to spawn a mini boss. And you get 4 of these, so they're going to be random. You won't know what mini boss for each one you get. From there, one player must go onto the card and challenge the dragon.
Okay, and then the same thing happens, right? Just like a battle, you have to roll the
Exact
dice.
same battle. These guys are going to be the strongest of this area, so you'll have to battle. But if you're solo, you're going to have great items. If you're co-op, you're going to have friends to help you.
Okay, let's go back for a minute to the other terrain card. So if I don't roll a 4 for that tunnel card, what do I do with the other remaining ones that aren't flipped over yet?
All you have to do is declare which direction. You can move up, down, left, right, and you simply can just go there and say, I'm turning over this card. You go there and you play out the card no different than this. Very rinse and repeat.
Okay, and then how do I add cards to the terrain? So let's say I want to declare that I want to go right, but there's no card there. What do I do?
Simply just put down a card. And you could keep going this way. You can go up. You can make Tetris shapes. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, Aaron, so we got that tunnel card. We have to fight and defeat the mini boss. What happens after you defeat the mini boss? What cards do I put down next?
So the mini boss, so every boss would get a rare loot card. So you'd get your reward for killing this guy or capturing him. And then you would simply move on to this guy and you would start filling out train any which way you want. But you only decide which train you go and you only put that one down. So you'd start billing out that way. So any player can go anywhere, but you would not build green train from this or red train. So you would get to the next tunnel, which is the hard tunnel. You'd defeat the hard boss, and then you would start putting out red train, and vice versa. And then finally, you get to the end boss, where you would have to. Everybody has to try to defeat the end boss together. The object of the game is to keep expanding out, unlocking tunnels, so that you can get to the end boss. So let's say that on this guy, we rolled a 4 and we're strong, and we could take on the mini end boss.
Okay, so what do I do once I have the tunnel card released or shown on the
Sure.
table?
You would put a random mini boss. There's 4 in the game. This is the green dragon. He's greedy.
Okay, so help me understand. Looks like there's some new things here that's different than the slime monster that we just fought.
Correct. We'll go through this first. You'll see new icons. This is the greed icon that the green dragon has and some other enemies have. And this means he gets to take one of the cards from your hand. So he would actually lose a card and it would go back into that deck or into that enemy tier.
So if you're playing co-op, does your friend get to choose, or you get to choose from your own hand?
You choose from your own hand.
Okay, and then in this case, it says boss roll. Can you explain that compared to the combo system that we have with
Sure.
the monster?
So opposed to the combo where you're trying to get a crit attack on him, the boss is actually an endurance game. So you have to attack him first, be successful. He gets an attack. You roll your second attack. You have to get this. Once you get that, he rolls another attack. And then by third, you win.
Okay, so right now, because based on my relic and hero, I'm only able to roll 3 dice. So what happens now that I might not be able to get to victory because it looks like it requires 4 dice in order to win?
So you have to level up, just like a JRPG. Your friends could come help you. Items can give you more dice, and recruiting more heroes will also give you more dice.
Okay, so assume that I had enough dice and I was successful with defeating the mini boss. Is that treated any differently than the slime monster that I collected into my hand?
Yes, this guy is still worth the slime monster. He's a dragon, so you could actually use him to level up if you were looking for dragons. You would also get a rare loot. All monsters that are end bosses give you a rare loot.
Thanks, Aaron. I guess that was the core loop of Tunnel Story. Every time you'd set up for the game, your adventure will be different every time you play.